You're at a party or some sort of social occasion and you get chatting to some new person, and in that sort of social situation it's always good to grease the wheels of friendliness, to find common ground, find something that you can reach out into that other person who is a human being with their likes and interests, and feel where you're similar, find something that bonds you together, so then the subject of music comes up, doesn't it? Oh, are you into music? Oh yeah, I love my music, I do. Love it, I love my music. You're not into all that sort of pop music. Oh no, I'm a big rock music fan. Oh, are you really? And as they say that, your eyes go all beady, don't they? Beady. And then, so what sort of bands are you into? And they turn around. Well, I'll tell you what got me into the rock was Nickelback. Now, I know some people think they're a bit funny, but I quite like them. But I've now moved on to the Foo Fighters. Seen them 17 times. They're absolutely amazing. And as the person says that, you can feel something twisting up inside you. And that's called hate. It's hate because this person is trying to come into your world of rock, which you own, which you know about. You know about this. You have proper taste when it comes to rock. And there's this usurper coming in who knows nothing. They need to be educated right now. What's the next thing you say? Think carefully. Because what you next say may be one of the 10 signs that you are a rock gatekeeper.
You're God.
I'm a God. I'm not the God. Janie Jones, Clash. From the Clash. Let's Get It On, Marvin Gaye from Let's Get It On. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit off of Nevermind.
Oh no, Rob, that's not obvious enough. Not at all. How about Point of No Return on Point of No Return, Lewis, so you can get up.
Shut up. White Light, White Heat, Velvet Underground.
Okay, that would be on my list.
Though not on mine.
Massive Attack, No Protection. The song is Radiation Ruling the Nation.
Kind of a new record. In a minute.
For another one of these videos, the sort of videos you like. Well, I've got a top 10. And I'm about to have a go at somebody. And this is the problem with this one, because, I've sort of made a living out of having to go at bands and people and fan bases, So in a way, you could say that I am one of the arch gatekeepers. You may even watch this channel because you feel, well, Andy's a proper gatekeeper. Anything that's shite, he's always having a go at it. But he does have a go at some things that aren't shite sometimes. And sometimes he does seem to have a go at the gatekeepers. He does seem to have a go at everybody, Maybe he's just a grumpy curmudgeon. Now, I would say I am a grumpy curmudgeon. And grumpy, cantankerous, contrarian curmudgeon. I've been that since I was about 4 years old, you see. Yeah, about 4 years old. So, it's like if we would do the 10 signs of that, then, I should tick all the boxes. I don't know if I'm a rock gatekeeper, though. So, working, very intensely with AI, not just me, not just my mind now. We've got AI to help us in all our decisions. I've got 10 signs that you are a rock gatekeeper. A snobby, up your own arse, rock music fan that thinks your taste is better than everybody else's.
Before you leave a negative comment trying to argue with me or tell me what my points are about the video, I only ask 2 things. 1, you actually watch the entire video to the end, the whole way to the end, and make sure that you are hearing and understanding my points before leaving your comments. And people are actually responding really well to it, especially, surprisingly, people who don't know anything about music theory, don't know anything about music theory, don't know anything about music theory, think about music theory, think about music theory.
Right? And think you know what great rock music is. But do you really? Is it just the fact that you've read lots of, music magazines and rock encyclopedias? Maybe it's just that, and maybe you've taken your taste from them, telling you what you should like. Maybe you're the worst. There's nothing wrong in trying to inform someone on music that might be more interesting to them if you introduce it to them, but maybe it's not coming from that place. Maybe through all your reading and knowledge and all the study that you've done into rock history, you've created for yourself your own intolerant structure, which you put on all music. Well, if you have, I'm here to challenge that with my 10 signs that you're a rock gatekeeper. Okay, 4 minutes in. Introduction over. Let's start at number 10. Well, I'm actually starting at number 1, aren't I? There'd be no reason I'd start at number 10 because this isn't like a ranking video, Andy, is it? It's just 10. So, yeah, it doesn't have the excitement of building up to a number 1, but what it does have is you could all now get a pen and paper, or if you're more, technologically able, get out your mobile phone, go into the notes section, and you could put a tick or a cross for each of these, and then, when this video comes out, you can put your score into the comments. It gives you something to do, so it'll keep you watching to the end. So we haven't got the sort of the number 1, but we have got the fact that you'll want to find out whether you are a rock gatekeeper. And I bet a load of you bloody well are, aren't you? So at number 1, there are a list of bands that the rock gatekeeper likes. You just know what those bands are going to be. I've written 3 down here, right? So if you are a fan of Velvet Underground, or maybe a fan of the Ramones, or maybe even a fan of the Clash, right? Or maybe Joy Division. There's a whole bunch of bands on this list. I'd even put The Fall into there, although I quite like some of the stuff The Fall does, I must be honest. I was going to once really have a go at The Fall because I think Marky Smith was a bit of a twat. I've heard so many stories about him that he makes Van Morrison sound like Mother Teresa, but but she wasn't very nice either. That was the wrong one. Who's nice that Van Morrison I can compare them to? Who do I think is really nice? A nice person. Come on, Andy. You must be able to. If you want to come up with a nasty person, you can do it off the top of your head. Who's a nice person that is really, really nice, and everybody thinks he's nice?
Say hi, communicate. All right, we're good.
So, these bands. Now, there's got to be some genuine fans of these bands. I'm sure there are. I'm sure people do like the Velvet Underground. Okay, so how you could, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound very nice. There's no cool riffs. There's no cool beats. The singing's not great. There's not much arrangement going on. It's not even recorded well. It's just a jangly mess with some bloody bloke going on about how he's going to meet his drug dealer. And then he's going to have sex bondage or something like that. Pulling together the only 2 songs you can really think of. Anyway, but the thing is, Velvet Underground just don't sound very nice. There's no 2 ways about it. The Ramones sound okay, but they're bloody dreary as, I don't know. And then the Clash. Now, that's a funny one with the Clash because every now and then the Clash do an unbelievably great song. So you can hold on to Rock the Casbah or, London Calling, or even If I Stay or Should I Go. Even that one's bloody brilliant, but the rest, God, it's dull. But people hold on to these because they think it represents something of rock quality. More than Nickelback or the Foo Fighters. They really believe that there's something in these bands that makes them great. There's some essence of taste. Like as though you are a purveyor of fine wines. Sniffing at Nickelback. Oh, no. This smells like some cheap Sainsbury's rot that you'd get for $5.99. Oh, could I have a sniff of that Velvet Underground? Oh, a lovely New York timbre. And I could smell, the burning embers of heroin being burnt in a spoon. That sort of very it's very musky, a very musky smell in there, as well as I can smell all sorts of things. I'm sure I can detect the smell of Andy Warhol's wig coming my way. This video is really surreal. I've started off on this one, and I'm doing my usual shtick. I ain't got a control over it, but I'm just thinking to myself, this one's surreal. I've got people smelling Andy Warhol's wig, straight off. I've got Van Morrison being compared to Frank Bruno and things like that. Right, there are a bunch of pretentious bands. Some people might like them. And if you genuinely like them, don't tick it. But if you're in the heart of hearts, you can look into that dark pit that you call a soul, right? And if you go, you know something, he is right. He is right. I just think these bands are good because they're important.
You guys are snot.
No, we're not.
No, seriously, you're totally elitist. You feel like the unappreciated scholars, so you shit on the people who know lesson. No, which is everybody.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Why do you like this? Because they're important. Think about it. What, do you actually enjoy it when you listen to them? No, but I feel more worthy. I feel more worthy when I listen to these bands, you know. And, you know, when you read your encyclopedias, it's, what did they say about Velvet Underground? It was a band that formed 1,000 bands. They might not have sold 100,000 records, but they launched 1,000 ships. What, like bloody Ellen of Troy? Well, sort of like that, sort of a New York, you know, snidey version of Ellen of Troy. That's what the Velvet Underground are, launching all these bands. They only launch these bands because they're shite. They inspired people to go, what, is that it? What? I mean, I've got that D chord down, but you just strum that over and over again. What about a drummer? Just get some random woman to just bang a drum that she's made. Oh, fair enough. And my mate, who's the Welsh bloke who's classically trained, he could come and just seesaw all over the top of it because he's not a rock guy and he's got no sense of blues or soul or funk or anything in him at all. But he can just soar away. Maybe if we all wore dark sunglasses, that would prove to people that we are serious about what we do. So that's what I've got at number one. If you like any of the bands I've just ticked, right, but you don't really like them. The trouble is with a Gatekeeper, they're going to go, well, of course I absolutely like them. I like them very, very much. The Ramones are an absolutely incredible band. They swept away all the pretense of all the progressive rock and classic rock, all that sort of effervescent tomfoolery was swept away by them. Simple lads, leather jackets, horrible haircuts, you know, just writing songs out of 3 chords, like the original people who wrote 3-chord songs, you know, 3 chords of the truth. I mean, who was that written about? Who was it, Neil Young or something? Yes, no, I really do like the Ramones, really do. No, you don't, they're crap, right? They're not great rock bands, okay? But just get it in your head. You like them because it thinks it's like a badge of honour that makes you feel self-important. I've done it. I've got the Velvet Underground albums. I've got the Clash albums. I've got them all myself when I was younger. Younger and more easily led. Wanting to be sort of a sophisticated listener. And I went and bought these albums. And then one day, the revelation happened to me. And you know what the revelation was? I don't like them. I don't like them. I'd rather put the Scorpions on. Right, so that's number one out the way. Number two, the second sign that you could be a rock gatekeeper is because you hate Spotify. Oh, Spotify.
Most musicians can't stand the app or even Spotify's CEO. They're laying off employees, stuffing playlists with ghost content, and squeezing every last cent from your subscription, your attention, especially with Daniel Ek, Spotify's CEO. There's a lot more we can talk about with him. I wish I had more time, but essentially he's now chairman of an AI military startup. So I don't know, he's starting to give off major supervillain vibes.
An awful platform. First off, all this compressed rubbish. I don't listen to compressed music. I listen to full-bodied music. All compressed. And it's all there. You know, it's demeaned the status of music because now you can just go and listen to anything you want. But worst of all, the artists, the honourable rock artists, purveying their genius to us all, these great artists.
Dead man lying by the side of the road with the daylight in his eyes.
Are ripped off by Daniel Ek and his associates, his capitalist associates, are ripping off some of our great rock stars. And Neil Young, who could have been on the list at number 1. Neil Young, who I'm a massive fan of, a really, truly great artist. If you noticed, Andy, unlike you, he'd got some moral standing, and he actually took all his stuff off Spotify because he felt that they were supporting ideas he didn't agree with. That man suffered. Because if you think about it, Neil Young, who made all those millions and millions and millions of those albums in the 70s, not just his own, but Crosby, Stills and Nash, then he made more millions and millions when he could put the stuff out on CD, right, is now being cheated out of the profits that he should have in old age. It's not right. In fact, when he realised he was being cheated out of those profits, he put them all back on, didn't he? But that's not the issue. Spotify is an evil platform, an evil capitalist platform they'll just have anybody on. Anybody. Then they had Joe Rogan spreading his lies across the internet. He was on Spotify. They didn't care. No, if we're going to have a music platform, we have to vet. Us sophisticated gatekeepers have to vet the ideas that are on there. And only people who have ideas that I agree with should be allowed on, even if the music they're making has nothing to do with it. Or, in Joe Rogan's case, he does have other opinions on it as well, and it was only one opinion out of millions and millions of opinions. But I did not like that one opinion. Neil Young was right, and Joni Mitchell. She came out, didn't she? Old Joni. Joni Mitchell, she's. I mean, you love Joni Mitchell, don't you, Andrew? You love Joni Mitchell. You. That's one person you never knocked. You said she was the greatest living songwriter, I think, at one point. Now I know she looks like some sort of albino Native American sat in some chair singing in a very deep voice out of tune. But we have to say we love her. That could have been on the list, right? That you thought that the Joni comeback when she sat in the throne, right, with the plaits. You thought she sounded good. I had a tear in my eye. It was very reminiscent to the later Billie Holiday stuff, where you know that she has no vocal technique, but you can hear all that experience and knowledge in her voice. It was a wonderful experience to behold. Right, so I'll let him talk a little bit more, Andy. The thing is that Spotify is one thing. Bandcamp is a lot better platform because it's so much fairer to the artists. But I really believe that if you're going to support an artist, you need to buy their products on vinyl. That is the only way to be honourable and decent, is to buy it on vinyl. Now, I know the vinyl's very expensive, and I know you will have to invest in a very good hi-fi amplifier, preferably separate. So I've got it all at home. Really good, expensive pair of speakers. I spent £12,000 on my setup at home, and it's wonderful. And with my sort of, the excess profits I've made from the estate agent business, or realtor, as what they would call them in America. I like at the weekend to go out and buy a box set or two. You've got to buy a box set or two, as Fagin once said, although he didn't say it like that. I don't want to be championing Fagin because I believe he was Jewish. They're doing terrible things as well. I mean, I'm very political. I know what is right and wrong. And I feel that young people should be really listening to vinyl. And now I know they can't get jobs and they've got no money and Spotify's the only way they can listen to music. But that's not the point. I'm not here to be championing silly young people. I'm here to champion what is right, what is true rock. Right, so is that Spotify done? Yeah, this is vicious, this one is, isn't it? This is why I was surreal at the beginning, because I knew if I stopped being surreal, then a whole well of vicious anger towards these stuck-up twats who think they know about music. I know about music, not them. Right, I'm the one who can play all the instruments. Right, I'm the one who's actually studied the history. I'm the one who's a virtuoso drummer. I'm on the bloody albums. When I'm arguing with someone online, and they're trying to explain to me that the bloody Joy Division are the greatest band of all time. And I'm sat there, I feel like going, mate, do you realise I've played for Robert Plant? So, you all have to take a drink now, apparently. We're at 17 minutes. I did think I did pretty well there, 17. Well, it's 18. Look, this video, I'm probably a third of the way in. That's not bad. Right? So all of you with your silly drinking game that, you know, you've got to have another gulp when I say Robert Plant. Yeah. Well, you've got to have another gulp now, haven't you, Robert Plant? Robert Plant. Robert Plant. Keep gulping, Robert Plant. Robert Plant. Robert Plant. Robert Plant. Keep gulping, Robert Plant. 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 Robert. It's like when you say the word pliers, if you say it over and over again, it starts to lose its meaning, doesn't it? Robert Plant, 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 Robert Plant. Maybe if I take the little gap out, because I've got a little gap there. You bloody gatekeepers wouldn't know because you don't know anything about music. I'm going, Robert Plant, there's a little gap there. No, there isn't a little gap. There's a little gap there. I know because I'm a bloody drummer. Listen to him. It's like da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Do you want to see it written out on a bloody piece of paper? You bloody phone gatekeepers. It sounds like that. See that? That's how it sounds. You can't do that because you don't know black music. I do. Da 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 da. We don't want that. We want it to sound like this. Right? If you're going to say it without the gap, we want it to sound like that one there. You see, I know about this stuff. Robert Plant, 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 Robert. Now they're all pissed out their heads. We can move on to the next one, I think. I think I've done that one. What's the next one? Oh yeah, t-shirts. Okay. Now, I said this on the other video the other day. I went to Primark and I did the thing I'm about to criticise. You know, maybe I am just, what's the word when you contradict yourself? I don't know. Anyway, let's just forget that. I went to Primark the other day. They got a bloody bunch of rock t-shirts. Young people are buying rock t-shirts, so they go out and they buy a rock t-shirt. Oh, I like that logo. That seems pretty cool. Oh, that's good. I mean, Dad likes that band. He'll be pleased if I bat them. I'll be able to please my dad. But no. When they've gone out and bought their Motley Crue t-shirt and they return home to Dad, right? What does Dad do? What are you wearing that for? Motley Crue. I want you to name 3 songs by Motley Crue. Now, name them now. I want them now. I don't know. I saw one. Name it now. I don't know. There was one with gills in it. What was that called? It was because there was some gills in it. Gills. What was it called? Gills. What was the one with the gills in? The gills. Yeah, you've got that one. Have I got it? Well, yeah, you've got that one. So you got one. One's not enough. You need more than one. Come on, give me another one. You faker. You dirty rotten faker. I knew my son was a faker. You've never listened to them at all. Right, you have no knowledge of Motley Crue. You have no knowledge. You can't come with like a Dr. Feelgood or Kickstart My Heart or some other one smoking in the back room. Oh no, that was Poison. What did they do that was naughty? Maybe they did that. I don't know. But the thing is, I can't come up with 3. That's the magic number. If you can come up with 3, then you're bloody... Oh, well, you stupid son. Get out of my house. Get out. So that would be the thing. If you ever meet a young person wearing a rock t-shirt and you go into that route, I'll puff myself out now. This is no good, is it? Right, so number 4. Let's get steaming through these. Right, you only like a band up until their hit record. Right, so let's just do that as an experiment, shall we? Let's take Metallica. Right, Metallica. Now, they cross over with Unjustice for All when they actually bothered to put a single out with a video. 1. Right? Then they come out with the Black Album. It's full of singles. So let's ask the Rock Gatekeeper what they think of Metallica. Rock Gatekeeper, what do you think of Metallica? Oh, very important band. You know, I mean, I'm not a fan of thrash metal and I don't listen to it at all. And Metallica have become an awful rock dinosaur pushing out the same cliches over and over again. You know, I mean, stadium rock bands is so... It's so... I mean, it's upsetting to think that people can pack a stadium out, sell all those tickets and make millions and millions, and that I'm not. And Metallica, you know, they've betrayed their Bay Area, Los Angeles Bay Area, whatever that is, somewhere in America, roots. You know, they started off as, you know, a great little metal band, and then they developed over a number of albums. I believe the first album was called Kill 'Em All. It's not something I advocate, but mind you, if you were to write that on a post, I would want you straight in prison. But no, they did the first album, Kill 'Em All. Then they did Ride the Lightning. And then they did their absolute masterpiece, Master of Puppets. And then they came out with their double album, Justice for All, which really any sane person would say that that one's their masterpiece. But it did have the single One on it, which I like very much. But it was a hit single. So at this point, the rules step in, and of course the Black Album, it all went wrong. They actually made an album that people liked in vast numbers, and then once that happens, I no longer like them, and everything they did after that was absolutely awful. Only you, if you're gonna say you like Metallica, you could only like it up to Master of Puppets. Then you have to start being critical. Right? Now, there's nothing wrong with the more latter albums saying that it harks back to their early sound, because you're pointing back to their early sound, and that is the right answer for you. You know. Now, I know, I mean, this might seem contradictory, and I might seem the type of person that contradicts themselves, and I can't remember. Hypocrites, that's the one, hypocrites. I might sound like a hypocrite, but you know I am a huge fan of Lou Reed and Velvet Underground, absolutely huge fan of Lou Reed. And I'm a very big fan of the Metallica earlier sound. But when the two came together and do something that I don't know how to measure because it's outside my remit, you know, one sort of I only appreciate Metallica in a sort of postmodernist way, you know, in an ironic way. I can look at it, but Lou Reed's he's a truly great artist. You put them together, I don't know what to make of it. Actually, so I think that album's absolutely terrible. If we don't know what to make of it, then say the album's absolutely terrible. It's awful. Now, Andy Edwards on his channel, he said that he thought that was one of his favourite Metallica albums, if not his favourite album. I didn't expect him to do that. It was almost like when he listened to it with an open mind, because I remember him saying originally he was going to listen to that album, slate it because Lou Reed was on it, but he actually really liked it, and he felt the conjunction of Lou Reed's extremely great lyric writing and imagery with a band that really knows how to write rock riffs, dark rock riffs, to bring the two together. You get something which is neither Metallica or Lou Reed. It's something that's greater than the sum of its parts. But I don't hear it. And I know what is right. So, yeah, if you only listen to the early albums, you can try that experiment out. Just list, pick the band, and as soon as they have a successful album or a hit single, you'll find that you are probably not liking them anymore. Right, here we go. We're halfway now. We're at halfway mark, and I've got written down here, you hate Rush. Come on, admit it. Rush were put there to challenge the Gatekeepers. They're the Virgin 1974 copying Led Zeppelin. It's an awful copy. The first album's absolutely awful. It's like Led Zeppelin it sounds like Donald Duck on helium, singing over the top, all derivative rock riffs. It's absolutely awful. A little bit of the Who thrown in there. First album's terrible. But then Neil Peart comes in, I believe that's the band's name, with his silly virtuoso drummings. We don't want to hear him showing off in a masturbatory way in front of everybody. That's the last thing I would like to watch, I think. And not only that, he brings in all this infantile, Tolkien-esque imagery. It's childish. I mean, Lord of the Rings is for children, He may as well have written songs about Harry Potter and, come up with things about Voldemort and things like that. I mean, that's awful. As soon as somebody does that, I don't like it. People should only write songs about a number of subjects: taking drugs, right, being cool and living in New York, and rock and roll is great in some way, as long as it's visceral rock and roll. Those are the subject matters, not writing songs about dystopian futures and bringing in all Ayn Rand and all that sort of free, bloody libertarian nonsense. I can't stand them. I can't stand Rush. Now, I have to be honest. Moving Pictures is a good album. It's a good album. I grudgingly admit that Moving Pictures is a good album. But I'm not going to fall for all that nonsense. And even though Rush have been going now for 50 years with this huge fan base, and they are perhaps the greatest rock band of all time, as we can see, because we can feel the real love with them coming back. And I champion them for bringing Annika in. Annika Niles, I think she's wonderful. I've had no interest in Rush all my life. I've never listened to them. It's too complex for me to understand. I know, it didn't mean that. I understand it. I understand it, and you know, I understand all the musical things they're doing, all the you know, all the musical things that Rush do that are complex. You know, they do those what they call, you know, they do weird time autographs. Is that the one? Time autographs? Is it weird time autographs? Is that the one? You know, and just have a weird time. Oh, time signatures, sorry. Weird time signatures, that's what they do. Who wants to listen to music in odd times? Why would you want to have anything interesting in your music when someone can just blast away the 3 chords? 3 chords of the truth, that's all I'm interested in. So, this is the big tester at halfway, right? Rush have stuck by their guns, right? Us real rock fans knew they were amazing from day one. I was there as soon as I heard them, when Moving Pictures came out, right? 1981, wasn't it? 81. When that came out, and I bought it just after it come out, and I was there all the way up until singles when I jumped ship because I discovered the prog and the jazz. But the thing is, to this day, I absolutely love them because they are so amazing. Right, the subject matter, the musical arrangements, the beauty in the notes, the beauty in the rhythms, the humour that's there, the seriousness that's there, the way that you can put an album on and just get deeper and deeper into it. But it does not push these buttons, does it? It doesn't push the Gatekeeper's buttons. And now they're in a quandary, aren't they? They're sat there looking at this band going, I never really liked them. But everybody now loves them because the truth was the vast amount of non-Gatekeepers, we all loved them. That's the thing. We always loved AC/DC. We always loved Motorhead. We always loved Rush. We always loved Rainbow. Right? We always loved All Night Long. You know, despite the lyrics, despite the dodgy lyrics, you can't go wrong with All Night Long. You know, I've got a tattoo of that somewhere. Can't remember. Right, so Rush. This is, if you don't really like Rush, but you're grudgingly admitting that you do now, you hypocrites! Bloody buggers. Right, number 6, we get to the Pet Sounds issue. Right, Pet Sounds is an okay album. It's a good album. Right, I knock it all the time. I tell you why I knock it, because I know it has just become this badge that you know what you're talking about. The Pet Sounds was a wonderful album. It was absolutely brilliant. It was so ahead of its time, really. And even the Beatles were influenced by it, you know. Whatever Andy says, I believe there's a quote from Paul McCartney that he said, you know, just after it came out, where I think he said, Andy's wrong, Pet Sounds is really good. Didn't he say something like that? And we copied everything we did after them. After them, we copied everything off them. Isn't that what they said about Pet Sounds now? My theory is, Pet Sound is... I've got it, and when I bought it, I put it in the car. It's quite a pleasant listen, right? It's a pleasant listen. So it's not going to offend you. It tinkles along, you know. Lots of songs about sort of nostalgic look back in the 1950s, you know. Twinkly little arrangements, tin pot production. Everything sounds really thin and horrible. But it's all right. It's got a couple of good songs on there, you know. Not the sort of things that your self-respecting rock fan would like, but if you want to listen to Wouldn't It Be Nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we were known? Everything sounds like the theme to Jim Will Fix It.
Ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to be a singer, but shyness has always got in the way. Please could you fix it for me to sing? Yours sincerely, Debbie Coleman.
Here's somebody to help her who also has a problem with being shy. Gary Glitter.
Jim Will Fix It was a programme in the 1970s. I'll go and Google it. I'm going to explain it. Right, so if you say you love Pet Sounds but won't admit that really you love Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, now there's a bloody good album. If you want to listen to middle of the road tosh, brilliantly arranged, and all the stuff that everyone says about Pet Sounds, go and listen to Rumours. Absolutely amazing. I love it. People think I don't like Stevie Nicks just because I said she sounds, you know, like the Goat Strangler. Even though I said that, I love Stevie Nicks. I love her. Right? Even though I did that video where I basically showed, you know, uncovered her songwriting process, and everyone was so shocked that I was right, you know. Shall we stick a little bit of that in? going. You can do this anywhere. I'm just doing it randomly. Now I'm going to do the goat sound. Now we're there, we need some lyrics. Now, you basically take the word woman and then put any appendage before that, you know, gypsy woman, tattooed woman, you know, anything like that you want to put, you know, gold dust woman, anything like that you want to put in front of it, usually a description of some sort. So if you think, well, let's just look around, what sort of woman could you be? Chubby. So say you've got a chubby woman. So I'm going to write a Stevie Nicks song about a chubby woman, right? With the goat voice, the claw, we got all the elements together. Now, you ready for this?
Chubby woman, you are a chubby woman, and you are a chubby woman like a big fat sheep go bah, bah, bah.
See, I'm a musician, I know what's going on with this, but Rumours is great. So why didn't you just go, stop gatekeeping and admit it? When you go home, you don't put Pet Sounds on, you put Rumours on. You put Rumours on and you love it. That is where you're at. That is what you like. Your taste is really housewife taste. Housewife taste. And he's been so sexist now. Housewife taste. You know what I mean when I say that. And I'm not having to go all housewives. I'm sure there's housewives out there that listen to bloody Albert Eiler. I'm sure there are. If there's any housewives here that listen to Albert Eiler, I'm not including you. Right? I'm just as a general sort of, you know, stake in the ground that the housewives tend to like, you know, sort of they buy one album a year and it's probably going to be by Michael Bublé, and, you know, they would like certain albums, you know, with his Hotel California or Rumours, you know, or ABBA Arrival. You know what this is. There's nothing wrong with these albums. They're great albums. Nothing wrong with them. But if you're pretending that you like Pet Sounds more than Rumours, you're a gatekeeper. That's as simple as that. Right, number 7. Here we get. We're up to number 7. This is a really simple one. If you're sat there annoyed by this video, you're a gatekeeper, right? If you are annoyed with what I'm saying here, you're a gatekeeper. If you're finding what I'm saying unpleasant, why would anyone do stuff like this? I mean, it's all clickbait. That's the thing with Andy Edwards. I mean, he may know a little bit about music, and he might have played the drums for various artists, including one, you know, superstar, rock star type, you know, and that's an achievement, I suppose. Don't want to say his name because I'm worried about the members of the audience at the moment that is lying there paralytic. But no, he may know his stuff, but the thing is, he's thrown it all away and he's demeaned himself by coming onto the internet and criticising everything and putting everything down and creating clickbait titles. I mean, I'm sat here watching this being annoyed. You know why? Because I clicked on the title. When I saw it, I thought, that's disgusting. Why does Andy have to do this? The 10 signs that you're a rock gatekeeper. What does that add to the world? What does he add to the world doing this? Absolutely nothing. Right, I did click on it. Now, apparently he does other videos that are more serious, but I never click on them. But when he does this clickbait nonsense, you know, just drawing people in, criticising them, you know, and the thing is, I always feel, and I hate to say this, I always feel that underneath what he says, there's some nasty sort of far-right sort of rhetoric going on in the background, and I don't know why he does this, whether he really believes this or whether he only does it because he knows that the sort of stuck-up twats that think they know everything and think their moral position is absolutely absolute and can't tolerate anybody saying anything else or saying that something is funny or going against their bloody worldview because they are gatekeepers. don't like that as well. They don't like the fact that I'm on here and I'm saying what I want to say. And I can say things, right? And I'm the only person that's gatekeeping me are the bloody politically correct lot. Because there's a whole bunch of words that I'd like to, say on this video, and I'm skirting round them. If you ever listen to me go and ahhing and not being able to quite get my words out. The other day I said the word, well, I can't say the word, can I? But I said it by accident, and I got really upset because I'm on top of this all the time. I know the words I can say, and I know the words I can't say. And I sail as close to the wind as I possibly can here, right? Because as I said to you, I am a contrarian curmudgeon, a cantankerous, contrarian curmudgeon. Now, many people have called me a word beginning with C, but there's 3 for you. A cantankerous, contrarian curmudgeon. I'm going to go against anything. I'm like Marlon Brando in The Wild One. What are you against? What do you got? That's me. Cool like him. Right? He ain't a gatekeeper. Not Marlon Brando in The Wild One. He ain't a gatekeeper. All these rock gatekeepers, they want the world to think they're Marlon Brando in The Wild One, but they're not. They're not Marlon Brando in The Wild One. They're not. All they are is a prissy, soft-handed, soft-shoulders, bloody weak man, right? Sitting there that can't bloody stand up for himself, can't bloody get into a fight, They can't handle themselves like a proper man, like Chuck Norris or bloody, somebody like that, Burt Reynolds. They're not like that type. They're one down, and they realised a long time ago, they thought, I'm not going to be able to get the girls, am I? I'm not going to be able to get the girls, not being all weedy and pasty-faced like this. So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to come across as being above everybody, condescending, the condescending twats. There's nothing wrong in being condescending. If you can back it up, I can back it up. They can't back it up. They don't know anything about music. They don't even know that much about bloody music history, but they're willing to pontificate. They're willing to bloody pontificate. Come on my channel with their stupid comments trying to tell me I can't like Van Morrison. If I don't want to like Van Morrison, I won't like Van Morrison. The fact is I do like Van Morrison. Just don't like his music. You can't like Van Morrison as a person. He said... He had opinions recently that you shouldn't have. The opinions I hate. Opinions that aren't mine. Come on, Andy, let's get back on track. This is just becoming, you've got this funny video going on here. This is supposed to be entertaining people. It's not an argument for free speech. I know you're on your free speech bloody thing now, aren't you? Your free speech thing. But you're the worst, Andy. You're the worst. You're a bloody gatekeeper. You'd have everybody listening to bloody Visions of the Emerald Beyond, Man of Yorkshire. I would do that. I'd give it to everybody. I'd gift it to them. No, I wouldn't gift it. They'd have to pay for it, but I'd pull it out of their bloody money. They'd say, you've got to buy this. When you get to the age of 21, you've got to buy it, sit down, listen to it, and then I'd have a form and they fill it out. And if they get that wrong, I tell you, we send the bloody police round and we lock them up. Stick them in a cell, go, you have a think about it, play them, Visions of the Emerald Beyond, non-stop, day and night, until they come back again. Yeah, I admit it. I was wrong. That's the best album in the world. Right, so if you're annoyed by my video, number 7, then you are a gatekeeper. Now, the Americans won't understand this one, I don't think, but I always have to have one for the English people here. So this is one for you English people. And so if you're American, just go over to number 9. So I will wave. You can fast forward. When I get to number 9, I will wave. So off you go. Bye-bye, Americans. Right, so British people. Stuart Lee. You know that comedian, Stuart Lee? You know him. Now, I like Stuart Lee. In fact, he's influenced me quite a bit. You know that repetition bit I did? It sort of was like a crap version of what he does when he does funny stuff. He comes out, says the same thing over and over again, doesn't he? It's all really, really funny, isn't it? You know why it's funny? You know why it's funny when he just says the same things over and over again? About cider. I can't remember the phrase he says. You could just take it. See, if I was to do it now, if I was to keep saying the same thing over and over again, it wouldn't be funny, because you have to be a genius to do it. And Stuart Lee is a genius. He's the greatest stand-up of all time. And the way we know that is because he tells you it. But he tells you it in a postmodern, ironic way, because he doesn't mean it, but he does really. But he doesn't, you see. And that's the thing about Stuart Lee, right? His stuff's really, really clever. right? And if you look at him, he's got the look of, you know, a sort of slightly overweight Cure fan. I know that, but you know what the music he likes. Now, apparently he likes free jazz. Now, I don't believe he likes free jazz. I think he's putting that on because he's a pretentious, has to be the coolest guy. And he's not cool. There's no way Stuart Lee is cool. But he thinks he's cool, but he doesn't think he's cool. He's cool because he doesn't think he's cool. Right? He goes out and does all of that. You can tell by the way he's acting and doing all his acting, he thinks he's the bloody bee's knees. But you can't pin him down on it, can you? You can't pin down Stuart Lee. Right? He's never going to have an opinion that you don't expect him to have. Right? Always. Okay? And he's going to sit there going around this circle. What is that circular loop that Stuart Lee does? It's a circular loop of being part of the liberal elite, but going up and making everybody know in a postmodernist way that you know you're a part of the liberal elite.